You're watching National Streaming Sports. Over 20 podcasts, 70 shows, and a 3.5-star rating on Roku TV.
There we go. I was adjusting my cam for all you people out there. I see that Sharif and the Bishop are here. Sharif, I know, is probably heading to work, and the Bishop, I know, is probably working on his Mother's Day sermon. Because I'm sure that the Bishop will be having a hell of a sermon tomorrow. Oh, you're home. Oh, okay. Well, in that case, and thanks for my favorite troll. Yeah, Sharif. That's the segue I was looking for, because I knew. Yeah, you're more consistent, EMAC. You're more consistent. I'll give you that. You're more consistently over here, because when Biggie Bronco is around, I rarely hear or know. But EMAC is in the comments section, making sure that I know he's here. Getting back to point. Today was a storied day. A storied day, a historical day. My God, the friggin' you can't. Are you serious? I'm watching the Warriors fuck up. They had like 3 or 4 3-pointers missed in a row. Now the T-Wolves missed the 3-pointer. Warriors set up for 3, and finally, it looked like a tall white guy. I'm not. Yeah, it is. It was some tall white guy. I don't know what his name is. but they're Golden State's still down 1. Yeah, I'm watching basketball. I was watching, and I'll go back to it in a second just to see if it's still there. Yeah. Is it still there? No, shit. I guess. Oh, yeah, it's a commercial. I was going to say, did it end already? I was watching. And thanks, Ed. I'm watching the end of the Mets Cubs game. So we'll see what happens there. Raider X54, good to see you over there on Instagram. Come on over to YouTube. It is the bottom of the 9th. I didn't see the score. Obviously, the Mets are losing or tied. Where's the fucking score? Okay. Okay, 6-5. Chicago Cubs are winning. Oh, those are the City Connects for the New York. They're nice. Got like some gold, or not gold. It's like a gray. I don't know where the gold came out. Gray and pink and black. Of course, I'm gonna like anything that's gray and black. McNeil. Yeah, it's gray, black, and it's not pink. It's like a purplish, like a magenta. Yeah, that's it, magenta. But they're Mets uniforms, so of course I don't really give a shit. Knicks looked horrible today. Well, I mean, what do you expect, Ed, when you take two? Oh, okay. We're ignoring them. Yeah, I'm sure. Just like in old, I can't remember telegrams, they would actually put like period, dot, comma. Don't worry about that. Knicks look horrible today. Yeah, but they're still up 2-1, right? I mean, I heard they lost. That was a foul? No. Yes. No. Foul ball for McNeil. It was a screamer down the first base line. I made $100 bet and I got to walk away with $950. Oh, cool. So EMAC does bet. Gonna either win the NBA. So, you get a walk away. Okay. So if you bet 100, and if Caitlin Clark wins the finals, then you get $950. That's not bad. That's for $100. That's not bad. Jimmy Farrell was in here earlier. I should say he was in my phone with messages earlier, and I'm still trying to get to what I want to talk about, because we can talk about a lot of stuff. It is Mother's Day tomorrow. I am not doing a show live tomorrow because it's Mother's Day, and as a Mother's Day gift, I'm not going to do a show on Sunday. Yanks lost in Sacramento. Wow, the A's beat the Yankees? Wow. That's amazing. And Ed does remind Jimmy Farrell that they're not his Knicks. They're Michael Dolan's Knicks, right? Isn't that the guy's name? Bishop, who is out there in someplace northern Las Vegas, if I remember right. I had a chance to hang out, and I did spend a night in Bishop's house on a previous road trip out there, and I thank Bishop for offering the hospitality. That was before he got married, though. That was before he got married. So I don't know whether God forbid that now that he's married, I don't know if they'll let it want a heathen in the house. I'm kidding. She didn't say that. Marcus Banks, good to see you. And thank you, Marcus. I'm here. I'm going to paraphrase your expression. I'm here because I don't want to get fined. Not tomorrow. I'm not doing the show tomorrow. You guys are watching the show for the channel on Roku. I'm doing it now. So if it's on Roku, snooze. They want me to restart my computer. I'm not going to do a restart of my computer when it's time to do a show. Let me see. Hopefully you guys let me do this. Pick a time. Let's do 1 o'clock a.m. check. Okay, tomorrow. I said check. God. Okay, it's not 12. Lee, man, I said 1 a.m. Yes. God, what the fuck, man? 1 a.m. tomorrow. Yes. Okay. Good. That's done. I didn't want my computer. Want my computer to do a restart right show. Okay, now I get back to. I didn't show up. So, hey, you had open gym for basketball? That's cool, man. Been an excellent since Bob Macaroni. Who's Bob Macaroni? Kenneth Clark for being here. Kenneth Clark is a there's 1 and there's 2, so that's okay at the double play. There's 1, there's 2, so there's 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Mets are still down 6-5. And thank you there, Ken. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you as well. And Matt Marinovich is here. Now it's an official show because Matt Marinovich is here. John Leon, man, I haven't had you in here in a while. Blue MM girl, Bloom girl. Okay, hi Blue. I'm waving at you. She's over on Instagram. And Golden State Timberwolves. Yeah, I am. I am. As soon as this goes final, Ed, I'm going to go. I was watching that. But as soon as this goes final, there's 2 outs, 2 balls and 1 strike on Soto. Wow. Yeah, it is Soto. So I gotta, yeah, it's 3-1 now. So as long as Hodge doesn't throw him nope. The second to the first game is over. Yes. Mets lose. Mets lose. The Mets lose. Thank God. Honey Badger Brooks joined over on Instagram. Hit me up. Come on over to YouTube. I mean, I do the show this way as well. I'm assuming you're gonna. Yes, I heard that Derek Carr retired. Yes. Jimmy Farrell, bite. No, don't bite. Suck the sweat off my balls via a female of my choice. So there you go. So fuck you, Jimmy Farrell. I think that they were, that they had like 22-23 wins. Fuck you. Bob Standard, good to see you. Ed says Denver won't beat OKC. OKC is a great team. I was wearing my Thunder socks today. And you know what, Bob? What up? Thank you for Bob. I'm actually going to put this here because I agree with this. In 2016, on Christmas Eve, Derek Carr breaks his leg, knee, something, not knee, like bottom leg. Playing, I think it was the Colts, right? Yeah. Donald Penn, who hadn't missed a block the entire year, his first block that he missed, the guy that was over Donald Penn's shoulder or whatever in front of him, gets the sack, break Derek Carr's leg. And the Raiders go down after that. John Wayne, good to see you on IG. Jody Threody, good to see you on IG. Hit me up on YouTube. Oh, okay. And then the other thing. And I tell you what, hey, Avatar's in here. Thank you there, Avatar. Saw me at the draft. Thank you. Said I was on. Good to see you, Avatar. Celts won today, yes. But I'm gonna say with what Ed's gonna say, and I'm setting you up, Sharif. I'm setting you up for the discussion. I'm not even doing air quotes. I'm doing full hand quotes. Full hand quotes, not air quotes. Full hand quotes about Derek Dallas Carr. Derek Dallas Carr, your boy. Yeah, and John Wayne over there said it on Instagram. That's why I want you folks that are on Instagram, we're going to talk about this because I'm going to get an earful. He broke a little bone in his lower leg. Yep. And it was, in fact, it was 3 presidents ago? Yeah. It was on Obama's watch, right? Yeah. It was Obama, Trump, Sleepy Joe, and back to Trump. Technically, well, if you do the people, it was 3 people 4 presidents ago. Yeah, Obama was there. And you didn't want to leave the Raiders. The front office gave him away without his teammates' KO knowledge? No. So talking point. Derek, I need to use the Derek Dallas Carr. For Sharif, Derek Dallas Carr. Greatest Raider quarterback? Yes or no? And John Wayne said, I will always wear my 4-card jerseys that I own. That's fine. See, now that he's retired, and I will say this, now that he's retired, it's okay if you are a Carr fan. It's okay to wear the Derek Carr Raiders jersey because he's retired. He's a retired Raiders player. Bishop was at the game, knew we were heading to the playoff, and he was still in there. And I don't know why. Thank you, Avatar Summary to you. And okay, 2 things. Why was he in there so late? We were winning, right? We were winning the game handily. I don't remember. I know that we were winning the game, right? Thank you. Sharif confirmed it. We had a huge lead. Never should have been passing outside of stat padding and made no sense. Thank you. Broke my tibia. I can show you why Carr was scared to break it again. Okay, well, there you go. Carr was scared after. Played. Thank you. Bishop gets it too. Played consistent. And Bishop, I'm going to say something else. I still have every Raiders jersey of every person I've ever gotten. Raiders Man 83 joined over there on Instagram. Thank you. This discussion, I'm telling you, I still have, and I'm gonna say it like it is. I still have one Randy Moss jersey that still has Moss on the back of it. The other one, because it was a game jersey. It was like the $300 ones. Okay, I still have that one in white that says Moss on it. It's a game jersey. The other one in black, I took his nameplate off and I put Big Raider J. So I still have that. I still have a Jabustus Russell jersey. I still have a Brooks jersey. I still have a Warren Sapp jersey. And these are all players that are pretty much, but Aaron Brooks, by the way, that are pretty much despised by the Raiders. I know I despise, and I have a Devontae Adams jersey. I got a Waller jersey. I bought that on sale, though, because my plans for it is Schwarber to do it. Nope. It was a little bloop. Yes, good, okay. I'm watching how my Phillies won today. They lost yesterday. Okay, Harper with a runner on. There we go. Why the fuck couldn't you have done that in Tampa? I was looking. Harper hasn't hit a home run in like forever. And he goes, yard. He goes, yard, baby. Yard in Cleveland. Getting back to point. All these jerseys of the players that you despise, I still have. I won't get rid of them because they're Raider jerseys. I just don't wear them anymore. And I think I got a Derek Carr, and it was given to me, because I didn't buy it. I got a Derek Carr long sleeve jersey shirt. Right? And I have that. That's the only long, because I won that too. I won that Derek Carr framed jersey. I won in a raffle. Wouldn't have bought it, but I won it in a raffle. It's the frame jersey. It's in my room. I got two Randy Moss, one white. Yeah, John Wayne did the same thing. One white, one black. There are a lot of Raiders despised that went to the Raiders. No. The people that are Raiders that were despised while being Raiders. While Raiders. And again, this is the discussion. Okay. DC4, okay, Carlos, we can get you're winding me up. DC4 should sign a one-day contract to retire as a Raider, as he promised he would. Thank you for saying that. I was going to mention that. He can't. He can't, because his contract is still owned by the Saints. His contract is still owned by the Saints. In order for him to do that, he has to come to a consideration to the Saints. And I don't know how much it'll cost him. In order for him to retire as a Raider, he would probably have to promise the Saints he ain't gonna play after that, so that the retirement will go through, or give them compensation for that contract to sign a one-day contract. But who's to say? And the Saints know this. The Saints know this. Now, I don't know how much longer the contract is for. Maybe when he's retired, he can come back, and when his contract is elapsed, I should say, then he can come to the Raiders and sign a one-day contract and retire as a Raider. That's the thing. Chepe 3181. I'm waving at you as well. Come on over to YouTube. And Matt says what we were all saying. Statistically, the best Raider quarterback. Inconsistent, never got us to the big game. True. Ed, again, this is all ammunition, folks. This is stuff that I'm throwing out there because I'm going to let it open. And Sharif, you're the first. If you want to be the first person on, because I immediately knew you were going to be on tonight. A lot of Raiders. Okay. And thank you for Hot Neil for the wishing the happy Mother's Day. You should burn the despised Raider players who are doing. No. I'm not. They're Raider players, E-Mac. They're Raider players. Saints are letting Carr keep $10 million from his signing bonus. That's mighty nice of them. I'd say if you want to retire as a Raider, maybe the Saints don't care. And I do believe that there will probably be a Derek Carr day as a Vegas Raider. You mean despise just like I hate the player? EMAC, I still got the jerseys. Well, I'm not going to burn. People burn their jerseys. No, because it's a Raiders jersey. And here's the other thing. I can always put another name over the back of it. For example, the Waller jerseys, I want to get a name tape that says Hendricks because Waller wore 83. I want to get a name tape that says Hendricks. I immediately got a Ted Hendricks jersey. Aaron Brooks was 2. I can get a name tape that says Genty. I immediately have a Genty jersey. Cooper, 89. I got a Cooper jersey. I can get a name tape that says Bowers. I immediately got a Bowers jersey. See what I'm getting at? No reason to burn a jersey. Hey, Seuss, thank you there, brother. Let me put that up. Are you going to be at the Raiders Nation summer kickoff in Bakersfield this year? No. That's what, next week? No. I live in Florida. People forget that. People forget that I live in Florida. And I'm not saying it in an angry. I'm not saying it in an angry way to you, Jesus. This is what I would say. If people want me to travel in the off season to a Raider Nation event in California, when I no longer have a job, those are those are the key points there. Biggest point. No longer have a job. Let me say that again. No longer have a job. And if you want me to travel in the off season, mind you, to a Raider Nation event on the other coast, I just ask for a plane fare. I could probably do the hotel. I can find somebody to stay and be on the couch with, right? But it's plane fare. I'd go to these things. I'd go to a lot of events if people would at least supply the plane fare. I don't live on the West Coast. One of the reasons why I did not go to the Raider Nation cruise, and I know I've bitched about this. Yes, I'll say it. I bitched about it, was because I wasn't going to get a package where you had to pay for alcohol when I don't drink fucking alcohol. And if I do drink alcohol, it's like one drink, right? And I pay for it. That's just me. So if that changes and I will go to a Raider Nation cruise, I will fly to LA because I'd make it a trip. I'd like either drive there and then do the cruise or fly and see people, one of those things, probably drive and see people, then I'll go there. But if they want me to go to the Raider Nation spring, summer kickoff in the off season when I don't have a job, and yes, I spend money on Raider games, No. If they would give me a plane fare, I'd probably, well, I wouldn't say probably, I would realistically consider it. And Sharif puts up last winning quarter, the winning quarterback was Jason Campbell. That's true. I think we have a chance to win this year. Hot Neil, I can guarantee you we will win at least one game. I hope that day comes after I'm dead. What, Ed? I feel like you got to put pretty good work in to do that. Let's go. Okay, Sharif, all right. Let's go. I'm right. Thank you. I'm not sure what I'm right about. Jimmy Farrell, Big 59, coming up. Upcoming. Happy birthday. You got a job with the ASFL. Oh, my God, Ed. I did find my ASFL hat. I did find it. And happy advanced birthday to Jimmy Farrell. Happy advanced birthday. And Ed, if from your lips to God's ears and implementation, because it sure as fuck ain't gonna be from your mouth and ears and lips to a certain person's ears to make it fucking happen. And yeah, happy Mother's Day, happy birthday. Do you have an AB jersey? No, I never had an AB jersey. But you know how you can make it a Tim Brown jersey? Just get some black stuff and take the 4, make it a 1. It's a Tim Brown jersey. I need your honesty. Why do you think Ken Stabler should play? Oh, my God. Jim Plunkett is the only quarterback other than Eli Manning now to be a multiple Super Bowl winning quarterback that's not in the Hall of Fame. That says it right there. And Jersey Subway sucks. Subway sucks. Jersey Mike's great. I actually also like, what's the other one? Yeah, I prefer Jersey Mike. I prefer Firehouse. That is my number one sub is Firehouse. If we're going to go Jersey Mike's and Subway, definitely Jersey Mike. Thank you. And Bishop, thank you. That's what Bishop's saying. Thank you. If you're requested to go, now I would go, but nobody says, Cap, we're going to bring you over here. I would like that. You get your plane ticket, you get your per diem, hotel, food, yes. Thank you. I appreciate it. Bishop understands. It's a gig. B. Heinrichs, 78 over there on Instagram. Thank you. Hit me up on YouTube. Namath doesn't deserve the Hall of Fame. I agree with that. Bradshaw, you're full of shit. E-Mac, you're full of shit. Should Big Ben go to the Hall of Fame? No. Make that easy. Okay. I promised I would get this up there. So I'm putting it up there. This is for specifically for my shipmate, Sharisa Alakan, who's celebrating today because it is the retirement of, and I'm using both hands, like Derek Dallas Carr. And right on cue. Mic check. Go get it, brother.
Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Am I good?
You're good. In fact, I heard you clearing your voice a little early. I'm sorry. I know you probably didn't want me to, because I did it quickly, and that's my fault.
Oh, that's
I'm
fine.
sure you probably clear your voice. Yeah, but no, you're good to go. And now, for a bit of knowledge, we bring you Sharif Sa'ala Khan. By the way, I say your last name correctly, right?
Close, Cat, but Black Thanos would suffice for the night. Do you hear me?
Well, I was going to say Sharisa Alakan, a.k.a. Black Thanos. Yes, I heard that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're slightly choppy, but I can make you out.
Anyway. Okay, hang on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of extra. Okay. I'm gonna get rid of some of these windows. Dude, you're making me get rid of my porn.
Oh.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna get rid of. Yeah, I got. Okay, this should be better. Is it better now?
Yeah, before your voice kind of had like that mechanical echo, if you will, like if someone's in an elevator, or like reverb was added to your voice, if you know what I mean. So, well, anyway, Cap, man,
I got you.
What the Lord does work in mysterious ways, don't he? I was a little down this Mother's Day weekend with some things that's happening, but that's a part of life, is up and downs. But there is a ray of sunshine at the end of the day. But in all seriousness, Cat, all things come to an end. And when it's in regards to Derek Dallas Carr, he basically put himself in a corner, because within the span of a month, right before the draft, you can't tell the Saints fan base, well, I might need this important surgery, and it will require me possibly missing most of the year, right after most of the media down there have been saying he's been unhappy. He essentially moved back to California. The fan base is not head over heels with him like those Bakersfield, Fresno base people who follow him around like a band of gypsies. They're different down there in New Orleans. That attitude. I mean, they've actually won a Super Bowl in more recent times, unlike us, going back to the Reagan administration. So, they're not going to bow down and kiss the ring of Derek Dallas Carr, because when he inherited that team, they had the easiest schedule mathematically in the history. Just hit Google right now if you think I'm lying. In 2023, and they had a number 9 defense as he came to that team. And Baker Mayfield won that division. So let's not have all this pomp and circumstance like we honoring some war hero from the Gulf, or someone who's done something extreme and heroic. He's been a unique anomaly in the sense that, and I will predict this, Cap, if you live to be another 100 years old, you will never see another quarterback in this professional sport be a starter for 9 years or more with a sub 500 record. The last person to do it was Archie Manning, who had 11 years with the Saints as a starter and won 35 games. This is a production-based business. It's not popularity. It's not because you think some guy is cute. Oh, he got such a sweet family. Or, he's a nice, pious church kid. This is about production here. This is about your red zone efficiency. And the one playoff game that Derek Dallas Carr made, we saw how that ended. That literally was his legacy in a nutshell. 4 downs at the 9-yard line. Raiders score, we advance, Bengals go home.
Yeah.
And with 4 downs from the 9, not 19, from the 9, 3 incompletions, and then on 4th down, throws the ball outside the end zone in triple coverage, and there's an interception. That's it. That was his one chance. And like in life, sports isn't fair. But to his credit, he's made more money in the history of anybody in the Raider organization. The Raiders did everything possible to assist him. We remember making Trent Brown the highest paid old lineman in history. We even entertain a cancer like Antonio Brown because of his physical gifts, figuring it would give him a bona fide weapon. We got his high school and Fresno buddy, Devontae Adams, over here. We made Todd Downing his Bible study buddy. Those are just facts. As his quarterback coach to keep him comfortable. In 2019, we had the second highest paid offense in the league. And people kept blaming the defense, which was in the bottom 6. In 3 of his last 4 years as a Raider, the Raiders were top 4 in field goals. How does that equate with you having an elite quarterback when you're so dependent on field goals? We gotta thank people.
I'm not stopping you for your thought train. I just want to make sure that Bob Standard knows and EMAC knows. I see you back there. Just bear with me because I know that this repertoire coming out of Black Thanos' mouth is going to be a bit, and I want to give him at least another 5 minutes to go on. I just want to make sure you guys knew I saw you. Just hang on, okay? Go ahead, Sharif. I just wanted to make sure they didn't go away on me. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, no problem. Because you know, Cap, I've been on record for years and years. I've been like Noah, warning the people. And yet, year after year, we were like that character Linus and Charlie Brown, believing the great pumpkin would come. And 9 and 10 Halloweens went by, and he never showed up. This is where it ends. So he's extremely fortunate, and he gets to save face because you can't say, well, I'm too hurt to play. Well, never mind about the surgery. I'm going to try to play because now you got a new coach there in the New Orleans organization who's not necessarily in love with you. And what the Saints did, unlike the Raiders, they drafted quarterbacks the last 2 years. See, one of our biggest mistakes, Cap, is that we kept changing coaches. Everyone else was changing quarterbacks. I remember when Tyrod Taylor took the Bills to the playoffs. That didn't stop them from pursuing Josh Allen. Alex Smith was a consistent division winner. That didn't stop them from getting Patrick Mahomes. Andy Dalton was a 9-year starter with the Bengals. Went to the playoffs 4 times, and he's above 500 all time as a Bengal quarterback. That didn't stop him from going after Joe Burrow. See, Cap, I forgot the brand of truck that you drive, the one you got a year or 2 ago. But imagine taking your...
Great. There's your commercial. Ram 2500, love it.
Great. Imagine taking your big Ram truck to 8 or 9 different mechanics, and that same issue persists. Is it the mechanics or is there a general defect with your truck? So we went coach after coach after coach, and none of them could get him past a certain level. He at best, he was a game manager with this magical ability to charm and disarm so many fans, usually male for some reason, who live vicariously through him. And made him more than what he was because of maybe his certain beliefs or the stance he took in 2017. Let's call a spade a spade. Because again, any
No. That's going to be the next good talking point. For those who forgot, what Derek Dallas Carr is going to be top 3 things that he's going to be known and most well known for with Black Thanos is the fact that when the Raiders went to Washington, and they were still the Redskins at the time in 2017, they go to Washington on I think it was a Monday Night Football game. They were 2-0, and they go into Washington on a Monday night game and shit the bed. I missed the Star Trek episode because of that shit. Because I am a big time Trekker, but I watched the Monday night game. It was the most stupidest decision I made because, and I'm sure Sharif is going to get into it. along with the Raiders' offensive line, allegedly, basically played look out. They gave Carr lookout blocks that night because the team, and I can't remember what the solidarity thing. It was obviously a Colin Kaepernick thing, correct? Sharif, am I getting that correct? It was a Colin Kaepernick inspired solidarity thing with the standing on the sidelines.
He was
over there.
Well,
ahead,
yeah,
brother.
well, the president then, Mr. Trump, made some remarks that the body, the league, the players took umbrage with. So it wasn't so much. It was inspired by Kaepernick, but he made a blanket statement that they took offense to, and as a union, they came to that decision. I belong to a union myself. And in some unions, if you cross that picket line, they will find you in a ditch somewhere. So we don't know if the O-line winked and said, well, let's send a message. We don't know, but that's still just one game. However, many people have not forgotten that, people who believe as Derek Dallas Carr does, because John Gruden called that game. And lo and behold, when Gruden became head coach here, he lived right next door to the quarterback. Remember when we signed Marcus Mariota? And for those fans who say, well, how can you blame Carr for all the different coordinators and coaches we had? Mr. Mariota, in his time as a Titan, had 4 coordinators, offensive coordinators, and 3 head coaches, with a shorter career as a starter than Carr. And that did not stop Mariota from winning 2 playoff games and being undefeated against the Chiefs all time when we signed him. Yep. However, when Mariota and Carr were both here, guess what Gruden did? He refused to play either one in the preseason. I've been watching professional football since 1977. I've never seen that. And Nathan Peterman took all the snaps. Meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes was taking snaps. Tom Brady was taking snaps. I'm talking about men who have nothing to prove. What Gruden did was eliminate the possibility of any quarterback controversy and arbitrarily make Carr the starter. Never mind that Mariota had one of the best red zone efficiencies of all time as a quarterback. But at bipolar opposite, Carr's on the other side of the spectrum. No matter who his coordinator coach was, he consistently struggled in that department and with the Saints. So as people call Shador a Nepo baby or a product of favoritism, that was the height of nepotism, if you will, because as long as Gruden was the coach of the Raiders, Carr had lifetime job security living next door to the head coach. I've never seen that in my life. So,
Sharif, I'm gonna make your final point, because I want to bring Bob on as well. And Emac, you're gonna have to wait a little bit because Bob's gonna bring this into the Raider atmosphere. I'm sorry, Sharif. I mean, trust me, I can give you a full 2 hours. I know.
No, it's fine, Pat. The other people deserve to be heard. Lastly, I'm going to wrap it up now. Some people say, well, he should retire. He should retire as a Raider. That may or may not happen. Marcus Allen didn't. Tim Brown didn't. Stabler ended his career as a Saint, oddly enough. But unlike Carr, those fans still love him. When I wore my Stabler jersey in 22 on Bourbon Street, those fans, the older ones particularly, loved that man and him and Bum Phillips together. By contrast, Carr, they don't share that love for him. So, and also with Tom Brady now being in the building, and remember, Brady wanted to come here in 2020. Dana White confirmed it. Ron Gronkowski confirmed it. And Brady referred to Derek Dallas Carr, and I quote, that motherfucker. Maybe some of y'all missed that memo. That's a fact, Cap. And that year, And that year, Tampa Bay beat us like a Virginia slave, blowing us out. And Brady said that he would do that because Gruden vetoed it, said, no, I'm going to stick with Derek Dallas Carr. That's how much love the Raider organization showed Derek Dallas Carr. We turned Tom Brady as a capable player with jewelry at the time in favor of Carr. So let's stop all this grand pity party like he wasn't given a chance or he wasn't given a shot, whereas no man outside of Archie Manning kept a starting job with a sub 500 record for that long, and it will never happen again. It will never happen again.
Okay. Sharif,
so on that note,
got
Pat, I'm going to go back to my victory cigar.
Okay, before you go though, I'm gonna have to do an edit to your statement about how the Bucks kicked our ass in our building. The edit is this: it was a very tight game midway through the fourth quarter. I believe it was a one-score game, and then with about halfway through the fourth quarter, maybe 10 minutes to go in the game, I'll give it like 10. The Buccaneers scored 3 touchdowns. Boom, boom, boom. So the score was, and again, only you can get away with whipping the Raiders like a Virginia slave. I am not touching that one to begin with. You know better than I was not going to say that. I did not say that. For those of Sharif, aka Black Daniel, said it. But the point is that they were winning, but the score was not indicative of the ass kicking. And I remember that, Sharif, because I walked off a show from an asshole Giants fan that did not watch the game and said that the Raiders got their ass kicked. I said, did you watch the game? And I said, no, motherfucker. I didn't say motherfucker, but it was implied. The score was not indicative. The Bucks beat the Raiders, and they whooped. And the ass whooping was in December when we went back to Tampa. I just need to say that because that still irks me to this day about that point. But yes, I'm sorry.
Well,
one last final, and go ahead,
okay.
sir. I'll let you go.
Well, you got a good memory, Cap. That I will tell you, that was Gorilla Rilla's birthday party at the Westgate. That's where I watched the game in Vegas. And I do remember Brady having 4 touchdown passes. So he personally made a statement at our expense, and few of us knew at that time just how close he was to becoming a Raider player. But Dana White already put it out there. The deal was in place, and it was up to Gruden, and he stuck by his acolyte and next door neighbor and surrogate stepson and said, no, I'm going to stick with this guy. We saw where it led us. So again, someone who's made well over $200 million, I am not having no pity party over. He had a great career. He get to enjoy his family. And I'm not going to rule out him coming back because he is so socially aware and hypersensitive that if he can rehab this alleged shoulder injury for a year or so, I wouldn't rule him out having a speech a year from now. Well, I thought about it and the Lord told me I'm not done yet. And the Steelers or whoever may need a QB next year, taking him for the cheap and rolling the dice with him so he can end his career probably on a more satisfying note to his liking. But 11 years as a starter, sub 500, led everybody in losses and turnovers, which is a dubious distinction, with a consistently bad red zone efficiency rating. He was very fortunate. Just put it like that, Cat. He's a anomaly.
Yeah. No, Black Thanos, aka Sharif. I knew that this was going to be a soundboard for you, and the fact that I'm glad that you had the night off. Did you take the night off once you heard the news?
No, I'm off on the weekends, Cat. I'm off Saturday, Sunday.
Good for you, man. Good for you, and thank you for that. So, and again, and I haven't been keeping up, Sharif. I'm very sorry. My best to you for your mom. I'm hoping your mom is still with us.
In a sense, but Cap, that's the cycle of life. The people who come before us are supposed to leave here at some point in time. So I'm prepared to deal with that. It's the other way around that's unnatural.
Right.
But
And
I appreciate your sentiment and your kind words.
yeah, and again, blessings to you and your mom, whether she is, able to. But I'm hoping that you guys have, because I know you'll be there tomorrow, and that you will have as best as you can Mother's Day with her. So blessings to you, blessings to her, and I appreciate you coming in, because as soon as I heard the news, I said, "Yep, I'm going to have a show on Saturday, so I don't have to do it on Sunday." And I said, I've given you probably about close to a half an hour, but it's great because I know all of the points that you were making were there. And sir, again, I appreciate you and all that you said. Chris Lentz, thank you for being over there on Instagram. Come on over to YouTube. Sharif, aka Black Thanos, with the facts. With the facts about, I gotta do it.
That's all. That's all this is, Cap. This ain't hatred. This ain't bias. I don't know the man personally. Maybe one day he'll be more ingratiated in the fold, because I know there are other X-Raider players like Khalil, for some reason, who's like a pariah, or Amari Cooper, or even Josh Jacobs. This guy, for whatever reason, he's untouchable. He can't do no wrong. I don't agree with that. And when he came here, I attended his first game against the Jets, and I saw his improvement. I think 2015 was his best year ever, though we had a better record in 2016. But the decline started in 2017. The fabric of the team was broken. There was a lot of stuff that went unreported, and around 2018 or whatever, some of his defects and the trepidation and bad habits just seemed to come out. And when you look at his original college scouting reports from Fresno, a lot of those things he was still doing even 7-8 years as a professional. So again, you got players like Andy Dalton, Vinny Testaverde, Alex Smith, who weren't terrible, but that's the tier Derek Dallas Carr is in. And if he doesn't retire, quote unquote, a Raider, neither did Ken Stabler. So keep it in perspective. Neither did Marcus Allen or Tim Brown.
Yeah.
So let it go. With this personality worship, I'm not used to that in an organization that don't retire numbers. We thank you for your service, but keep that same energy that you keep. I'm talking about these fans out here for some of these other ex-Raider players who now all of a sudden you curse and despise and dismiss their contributions here. I give Derek Dallas Carr credit for a sincere effort. And I've been to many of his games throughout his years here. Some of the highs and a lot of the lows. Remember Atlanta when he fumbled 4 times and threw a pick 6 in the pandemic? I was there. The last game in Oakland when they threw food on the field and booed him off the field, I was there. Against the Rams in 2018 in Oakland when he threw 3 interceptions, I was there. In 2022, playing the Chargers, another 3 interception game, I was there. Against the Giants, another 3 turnover masterpiece, and that Giants team was horrible. I was there in the Meadowlands. When he got benched against the Jets in 2019, Gruden actually benched him. It was so sad and pathetic. I was there catching pneumonia in the freezing rain. So you can't dismiss me as some critic on his damn sofa who never gave Derek Dallas Carr a chance. He just wasn't the guy. I'm not saying he never tried to be. He just wasn't. So best wishes to him in his private life, but I still would not rule out him making a return at the period of time. I just have a feeling he's going to at least try.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. I mean, all we have to do is look at the fact that Hunter Renfrow took a year off and is with the Carolina Panthers, and the contract difference of what we offered him and what he got for the Panthers, I think was maybe $200,000, something minuscule like that, but he went to Carolina. So I agree with you. I think that he'll probably take a year off, and then he'll probably come back and want to do it again. And Sharif, aka Black Danos, salute to you. Blessings to
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you
Cat.
for coming.
Good night, brother.
Good night as well. You take care.
I'll
Man.
be listening, but have a good night. I'll see you in the chat.
All right, brother. That's Black Danos. And like I said, as the bishop says, he's laying out facts. He's laying out facts. And I was the one for years, and I gave Derek Dallas Carr so much rope that he finally hung himself from probably what was it? The heights of maybe not Everest, but I'll say K2. If you don't know what K2 is the second highest mountain. So I gave him so much rope, and he finally hung himself from K2. And thanks again, Black Dano. So I'm bringing in Bob. Bob, I appreciate you being there because I like I said, Sharif has so much good shit that I did tell him, I said, keep going, but I got to bring Bob in here. I was only supposed to do an hour, and I'm over the hour, but I wanted to make sure that I got you in here. EMAC is still back there. If you want to come into the show, please do. Bob, yeah, because when Sharif's doing all this, I see the head bobs. I'm like, yep. So if there's anything left that we, and I say the royal we, that Sharif forgot, but there's anything personal that you want to add, or if you want to talk about something else, go be it. And thank you there, Bob, for coming in, brother. Good to see you as well, man.
Oh yeah, you too, man. I'm just excited for our season this year. New coaching staff. I think our draft this year is like an A, like an AA plus or something. Just is killing it. I like the Genty pick. I like that wide receiver we got from Tennessee.
Orton, going to be a burner. Can't wait to.
And I like that Josh Betch.
Yeah, Besh. Yeah, I think it's Jack Besh. Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Yeah.
And then he has a lot of motivation because of what happened with his son or something in New Orleans.
It was his brother in New Orleans.
His brother,
that was a tragic event. I think it was like it was right New Year's Day. It was New Year's Day.
Yeah. These guys are just motivated. These guys just want to win. That's what we need. We need motivated guys that care about winning and win Super Bowls. We don't, because all this other stuff 10, 20 years earlier, like we haven't faced the real facts of actually a good Raider season in forever.
Yeah, I mean, we did go to the playoffs in 2016. Carr, and I'll say this, Carr led us to the playoffs before he got injured. And then the next game or so, then it was McGloin losing, and then he got injured against the Broncos the very last game, so that when we finally did go to the playoffs, we're playing in Houston, and the quarterback, Connor Cook, the guy that we drafted in the 4th round, that the Dallas Cowboys wanted. They wanted Connor Cook, and we went ahead of them in the draft and got Connor Cook. And what did Dallas do? They drafted Dak Prescott. I mean, amazing.
Yeah, and I remember we go into the playoffs in 2021, and then unfortunately we got screwed against the Bengals. We should have won that game.
Yeah. Well, yes and no. We got screwed with the Bengals. They gave them a touchdown that they shouldn't have had at the end of the first half. They gave them a touchdown at the end of the first half that they shouldn't have had. And as Sharif, a.k.a. Black Thanos, reiterated in his diatribe, four downs at the Bengals' 9-yard line with the game on the line, incomplete, interception. says it all right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to be too long at a family wedding and stuff in Oregon, but I just wanted to go on. You were live, so I'm just pumped for. I'm just pumped for the season coming up. I wish it was here right now, but we still got to wait I think like 3 or 4 more months or something. But I'm just powered, excited.
Yeah, no, I got you. I got you. And again, for those that are wondering, it wasn't you, Bob, but I would love to go to the Bakersfield summer kickoff, but I ain't working and I ain't going cross country for a 1-day event. And Pete, you ain't going to bring me out there and bring me back. Fuck that. Sorry, Bishop. I know Bishop is doing his stuff for tomorrow, but Bishop is a salty sailor. He knows that I cuss. But you're at a wedding. I'm gonna try to keep it down. But sorry.
I'm outside.
That,
I'm outside. You're good.
Yeah, but fuck that. I'll go to a bunch of events, but you got to at least, don't pay me for an appearance fee. I don't do appearance fees. That's bullshit. But at least pay for me to come out to do it. I will do it. Pay for me to come, and I will be there. I know it's an appearance fee is you pay for me to come and you pay me money on top of that. No, that's bullshit. Pay for me to come. Give me a place to stay and some food. I'm good. That's all I ask. People don't understand it's fucking expensive to go. Every game for me, Bob, is a fucking an away game. It's an away game. From Tampa to wherever. It's an away game. I get one home game every 8 years, and that was when we played Tampa here and got our ass kicked in December.
Go, man.
That's the way it is. Well, Bob, thank you for coming in, man, and looking good, looking dapper, looking good for that wedding, brother.
Oh yeah, man. I'm just stylish. Me and my wife are here with our family. It's been a great wedding right now.
Well, tell whoever who got married, Mazel tov. That's Jewish for congratulations.
Oh yeah.
Mazel tov. You see all the Mazel tov. There you go. Bob, hey, thanks again for coming in, brother. Take care.
No problem, man. Okay? Let's go. Raider Nation all the way.
Raiders. Acton Kinsey.
Woo! Yeah, another Raider fan right here. All right. Woo-hoo.
Come on. Hey, Bob, make sure you tell them about the show. Tell them to follow it, too.
All right. I will.
All right. Take care, brother.
All right, you too, man.
All right. Bob Standard. Good to see Bob out. Bob's out at a wedding, and he's hanging out with the show. So if you want to come into the show, I'm getting you in a second, E-Mac. I'm getting you in a second. Come into the show. Maybe the bishop. Maybe we can get the bishop to come in. I'm not saying it, to put him on the spot. What the fuck did I just do? Okay. Like a come to the show. There we go. There, because I was trying to type something and I did a copy paste, and so there we go. Now we are going to be joined by the number one troll as of now. He self-certifies himself as the number one troll. Oh, Bishop, yeah, if you want to talk about the rookies, we can do it. And I would rather you do it. And the reason why I say that is because you are there in Vegas. And I've been doing stuff here in Florida. I'm always doing stuff. But you, being in Vegas, have news reports every day. I know a little bit. Louis64 is over there on Instagram. Thank you, Louis. I waved at you, brother. Go over to YouTube. So without further ado, we're going to bring the number one troll of the show.
How's it going, everybody?
E-Mac, how you doing?
One troll.
I'm good. How you doing, man? Hey, E-Mac, I got to tell you, you were putting things up onto the camera. I couldn't see what the fuck you were saying. I'm sorry. It was so small. I knew you were like doing notes, but I couldn't see it. So I wanted to acknowledge that I saw the notes, but I didn't see the notes. If
What?
you understand what I'm saying, go ahead.
What notes?
When you were putting things up to the camera earlier before you were on stage.
Oh, I must have probably. I didn't really do anything. I was just laying on my bed, just waiting. Hop on.
Oh, okay. I saw things up in front of the camera. If you're laying on your bed, do not do something like other people do. You know, no nasty shit here. No nasty shit here. So there you go. So the number one troll, I'm giving you. You got a good 5 minutes, man. Go ahead, enamor me, amaze me with the bullshit. I'm waiting.
So why don't you think Big Ben should be in Hall of Fame? He has won 2 rings, correct?
Okay, I know he's won 1.
Big Ben Roethlisberger.
Right. So the Steelers have 6, right? So yeah, he would have 2 rings. I just don't think he's all that in a biscuit.
He's beaten he's faced pretty tough quarterbacks in his time for his competition, for his era. Mm-hmm. He's one of the biggest quarterbacks we ever seen outside of Cam Newton. He has a big arm, and he has better touchdown interception ratio than most 1970s, 80s, 90s quarterbacks, maybe except for Montana or Marino.
Okay, I'm gonna stop there. Whoa! I'm gonna hit that point right there. The 60, or sorry, no, you didn't go 60. The 70s and 80s and 90s, different era. You can't compare. I'm sorry, you can't compare. Hey, Brandon Moles over there on this. Thank you, Brandon. Come on over to YouTube. You can't compare by era. It's so different. But go ahead, man.
If I'm going to be honest, I understand, but you still have to put higher numbers even for that era. Look at Fran Tarkenton. I know he doesn't have a Super Bowl, but he still has high numbers. I don't care what anyone says, but you can put Bob Greasy up there for high numbers and won a Super Bowl.
No! What the hell?
He has higher touchdown
interception. Greasy?
He's won a Super Bowl, didn't he? But he does have better touchdown interception in his career.
Hey, wait a second, EMAC. I'm gonna school you on some knowledge, okay? I'm gonna school you on some knowledge because all you do is
he's
look
better
at
than
numbers.
Joe Namath.
Yeah, well, I think they both kind of are not the greatest.
You think they suck?
I mean, Joe Namath not quite suck because I suck. I've never made it to the NFL. They were NFL court. They were not the greatest. They were there. They had the talent to be there. Archie Manning, great personality, went to the NFL. His best thing that he did was he has 3 sons because the first one, Cooper, is the best son as far as ability, and he never made the NFL. But people just keep raving about Cooper Manning, and it's unfortunate we didn't get a chance to see him. But you have 2 sons that make it to the NFL and win Super Bowls. I think that they've won 3 because I know Eli won 2 and Peyton won 1. So there you go there.
Peyton won 2.
Oh, okay, yeah. Peyton won the second one with the Broncos. There you go. Yeah, yes. I keep forgetting he won with the Broncos. Yeah. So he won 4 Super Bowls, 2 and 2. But the point is that they were adequate. They were good for their time. They were better than everybody else in that era. But you know, I mean, you had quarterbacks, their era, right?
Era.
They were good for that time. But I keep saying, everybody said, well, Bob Greasy is the reason why the Dolphins didn't lose a game. Bullshit. Do you know this, Mac? Do you know this, Mac? That Bob Greasy was injured for half, if not over half of the season in 1972. He was injured. And Earl Morrall, who was the quarterback for Don Shula in Baltimore, came in and was the quarterback for the Dolphins when they continued to be undefeated. So everybody gives Greasy, Greasy this and Greasy that. Greasy missed over half of the season. Earl Morrall quarterbacked that team, and Earl Morrall was like in his 40s. He was old as fuck, right? And they always give it to Greasy, but Greasy was injured. He came back in time for the playoffs and then won. So they forget about that. So
I wasn't even born.
I don't know. Well, exactly.
I'm just looking at his stats to bring it up.
Right. But I gotta say this. Okay. I don't have a clue. I
gotta say something to Edward too on his comments earlier about Derek Carr. He thinks he just throws checkdowns, which I completely disagree. What he said earlier when Sharif was on, he has the strongest deep arms in football. Like when he was playing, like come on. And then another thing too, I think he said Derek Carr was inconsistent before and after he went down, but he was only inconsistent after he went down. And even if he was playing inconsistent before he went down, he was only a rookie.
That's not true, and I'm going to tell you why as well.
Edward's lying.
And again, you're EMAC. If you're going to be here, and if I'm going to make a point, please shut the fuck up, because at least you do. Whereas Ruben, when Ruben comes on, I got to scream over Ruben and put him on silent because he won't let me make the point. Here's the point with Derek Carr. Derek Carr got injured before he broke his leg. He got injured in the game. Bishop said, why waste time with this? Okay. Bishop, as you know, you try to impart knowledge, Bishop, on those that need the knowledge. That's why I'm doing this, Bishop, because EMAC prides himself on being a troll, but I'm going to let him know about knowledge. Derek Carr had injuries before he got injured. He was injured against the Panthers, and he was a bad injury against the Panthers, and he had a bad injury against the Broncos, because I was at that Broncos game, and every time he got injured, he kind of pussied around with, oh my God, look at my injury. And and they popped his finger, but he was a pussy about it. Okay. And then when he started getting, especially after he got the injured with the leg, he would crunch up like a dead bug. Every time that there were people in front of him, every time that the defense was there, he would crunch up like a bug. And it's funny because even Bosa called him out on it. Bosa called him out, like when they would go, the Chargers would be playing the Raiders. He said, it's like Carr's a fucking pussy. And that's true. So remember, I understand that you have knowledge and you look at numbers, but I'm telling you the facts because I watched it.
So
that's the difference.
When you're saying the P word, are you talking about him being a P word because of his leg injury?
Yeah. He was a pussy bitch. Yes. He was a pussy bitch because he was so afraid of getting injured.
So you think leg injuries don't hurt, huh? I'm pretty sure.
Oh, no. No. I understand that. But here's the thing. You are the quarterback of an NFL team. You either butch up or shut up. And he didn't butch up, he pussied out. If you are going to be the quarterback of a team and you are the leader of that team, and you are like a little fucking whimpering kid when the defense is coming after you and you puss up and you go into a dead bug knowing your ass is going to get handed to you, that's not a good look. Okay? And Ed Winchell said it right here. That's why he always checked down. He had the arm. But when he saw it, he would puss up and he would, oh my God, I'm going to get killed. And he'd throw it to the running back in the flat. Check down. It's true. EMAC, I'm telling you, we're telling you. That's why, the bishop was like, why am I even fucking with you? Because I'm trying to impart that knowledge. You got some knowledge, okay,
Number one troll.
that we went. Yeah, it's the number one troll. Yeah. But again, and the bishop says he understands how much pain that is. That is a very painful injury. I myself had never had a broken bone. Knock wood. There we go. I knocked wood.
Never had broken
but
bone.
I have debilitating my legs. You saw me rolling around on my scooter, and I got a power chair because my legs are hurt so bad that it's hard for me to walk. So I understand about debilitating injuries, and I don't wish that on anyone. But it's not a matter. I am not the starting quarterback of an NFL team. If I was, I need to either butch up or shut up, and he didn't butch up. That's what I'm saying. Go ahead. You were gonna make another point about, like I said, and I kind of agree with you on like Namath. Namath got in the Hall of Fame because he won Super Bowl III and he made the promise. That's the reason why he's in the Hall of Fame. I promise you we will win. And that was important. Okay. Greasy got it because he was the quarterback of the undefeated team that really, it was Earl Morrall that got them there. And that's what I'm saying. So yes. And yeah, Greasy won another Super Bowl later on because of that. Basically, the Dolphins had a fantastic defense, the no-name defense, and a great running game with Zonka, Kick, and Mercury Morris. Look it up.
One thing I'll give to you about Plunkett is a lot of people. There are a couple of people at my work telling me he was like the best quarterback that he ever played in college for Stanford.
That is true.
Which I can maybe believe it, but I gotta look his stats up to even believe it.
Wait a second. You are all about numbers. And I'm gonna call your ass out. You're a fucking millennial. You're a fucking millennial. It's all numbers. It's all numbers. It's numbers. It's not about performance because Plunkett and then Elway and then Luck, they all went to Stanford. They were all fantastic quarterbacks, right? Throw the fucking numbers out. Throw the fucking numbers out.
You want me to throw numbers out?
And all the other, throw it the fuck out, okay? Like for me, Raheem Morris said statistics are for losers, okay? And by the way, Sharif, you are incorrect about this. Jim Plunkett was drafted number 1 overall. He was the first person taken in the draft. And there is a trivia question. Name the only person in the NFL who was a Heisman Trophy winner, a Super Bowl MVP, and the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. Heisman Trophy winner, Super Bowl MVP, and the number 1 person taken in the draft.
Are you talking me or Sharif?
Knows that one.
What year?
I fuck years. Okay, you got to know this shit.
If you name me what year,
number 1 person. No, there's only one. There's only one person. Heisman Trophy winner, Super Bowl MVP, and the number 1 person in the draft. One person. Only one
Eli
in
Manning.
NFL history.
Eli Manning.
Wrong.
Big Ben.
Eli Manning never won. No, Eli Manning never won a Heisman Trophy.
Russell Wilson.
Okay? No. And I'm going to get you out on because I got the number, the person it was Jim fucking Plunkett.
I wasn't even born
Jim
then.
Plunkett. I don't give a fuck. If you want to know, if you want to say you know shit, you need to know shit. And I'm telling you stuff, so you need to know. That's on. I gotta let you go. I gotta let you go because I gotta let Avikazi come on because he's calling in from Australia. But hey,
All right.
Make sure your mom has a happy Mother's Day, okay?
All right. I love you, brother, and let's go Readers.
There you go. Thank you there, Emac. Ooh, I like that. Emac is doing he does what for Sneaky G, you got to do that when you leave the show. Which is cool. Thank you there, Emac. Now from down under, and it's been a while, Avikazi, how you doing, brother? Good to see you on the Sunday there. It is Sunday over in Australia. So I caught you on today, and I see when you're in the comments, I say, come on in. I'm glad you had a chance to. Avikazi, first off, how are you doing, brother? Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's good to see you too, everybody in the chat. Just finished up at the gym, so I thought I'd pop on one time. So hello, everyone.
I hope next time you go to the gym, I always tell Mike Sarah, when you're in the, do extra for me. Do extra for me because you could do that one extra one. Do that one extra push. Okay, like one more, and it's like the Marines. You know, when you have the Marines in the gym, they be doing that. One for chesty puller. One for the commandant. One for the core. Yours is going to be one more for Captain Jack. So remember, when you're in the gym, because I need to do an extra for me, please, because you are living and I need to live. So maybe that little extra that you do is enough for me to keep around. Okay. Oh, here's the dog. Nice dog.
Sorry.
What type of dog?
She's speaking to my attention. She's a Staffy. That's her behind me. I don't know if you can see her with my
that's
chest
a
out of the way.
dog.
Yeah.
There you go.
She's
my
you're good. Little baby Raiderette. So, yeah.
There you go.
But
and I see you wearing your Derek Carr jersey. Oh, my goodness.
Color Rush. Yeah.
So we've had did you get a chance to listen? Oh, my God. Did you get a chance to listen to the long diatribe that Black Thanos made against Derek Dallas Carr? I don't even do air quotes for him. You know how people do air quotes like this? For Derek Dallas Carr, I do the whole hand thing because that's what. And Crash Talk, simplify to you as well. Avikazi, and again, Avikazi is a learned individual who studies, and he's down in Australia, so he's not even here, and he studies and he learns through tape. He learns through experience via tape, and that's because that's the way people need to do it. If they don't know something, they learn it. They live it. They live it the best they can. And Avikazi, I know you're wearing your Derek Dallas Carr jersey. And again, I have mine over there. It's mounted on the wall. I'm not taking it off. It's a nice jersey. But we were lamenting. That's the proper word. We were lamenting the difficulties and some of the inadequacies of Derek Dallas Carr's career. And that's what we were talking about. So in order to be fair, like Fox News, I don't know if you guys got Fox, because your boy was in charge of Fox News for years and years and years, equal and balanced. I give to you Avikazi, who's going to talk about Derek Carr. I'll do the Derek Carr for Avikazi because he doesn't throw in the middle name to berate him. But I will let Avikazi. I'm going to shut up. Sir, I want your best about your knowledge and your affectations or your positivity towards Derek Carr over his career with the Raiders. And even if you want to throw in something about the Saints, go ahead. Floor is yours, sir. I'm listening.
All right. Well, first things first. Look, I bought this jersey actually when I was in the States. So this is one of two jerseys I bought when I went to Raider Image in Oakland. This was the last one left in Color Rush, so I know I had to get it. The other jersey I got was Max Crosby, and that was his breakout game, his rookie season, 2019. just on Derek Carr, look, like I watched every game from start to finish ever since he stepped into the league until he wasn't a Raider. I never watched him play as a Saint. So what he did with other teams, all the best to him, but I didn't care. But with what he did with us specifically, look, like I've always, and this is with every player that walks through the door. If during your time you do you bring some success, you give us some good moments and something to cheer for and something to be hopeful with, then I'm gonna once it's all said and done, I'm gonna look at that and appreciate that rather than like I know a lot of people they look at the end and they want to criticize the guy or whatever it may be. That's how way they want to do things. That's not how I do things. I would rather look back and appreciate the good times rather than say, look, that's how it ended and that's the full stop. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a guy who at least brought us stability at his best. In 2016, he was an MVP candidate, looked like he was going to take us deep into the playoffs until what happened. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm going to appreciate that and the good times rather than like how it ended. You know what I'm saying? And like, I know it's been a dire comparison outside of Gannon since, you know, the early 2000s. Like he's better than 99% of all these bums that we brought in the door since Gannon. Well, every single one of them, if I'm going to be honest. So
that's true.
You know, at least he able to bring us some wins, bring us some success, and bring us some stability, even for some of the time. And I appreciate that, and I wish him nothing but the best with his future endeavors. Once a Raider, always a Raider. DC forever.
And I can dig that. And again, that's why people say that. Why do you keep your Raider jerseys of people that suck? I said, well, first off, they didn't suck. They went to the NFL. You can't say that anybody that's in the NFL sucks because they are the top 0.0. And I remember when we talked to Stu, and Stu gets on people about this, and you know, because he's right. They are the best of the best of the best of the best. If you get to the NFL, even if you have a cup of coffee in the NFL, you get on a team, you are the top 0.001% of everybody. And if you are a star in the NFL, then you go 0.011 or 0.00001 of people that are superstars in the NFL. You don't suck. That is the best you can do. And I agree with you as well, Avikazi, in the fact that you have a quarterback that brought the Raiders wins. He did. They brought him wins. And he was always there to get them. Like, we're going to win this game. He had so many of those. I remember the comebacks he had when, and I remember the Baltimore game in particular, where he threw, I think, 3 touchdowns.
2021.
To the guy. Yeah, the guy with the chain that got yanked off by a kid.
Oh, you're talking about 2016. Michael Crabtree. Crabtree, thank you.
I got a Crabtree rolling around here somewhere as well. Yeah, 3 touchdowns to Crabtree, and they beat Baltimore in Baltimore. That was a fantastic win. And it gave us memories. And there's other memories that Derek Carr was involved with. Like I said, the memory about that both him and Khalil Mack beating the Panthers in Oakland when Carr got injured that game. I remember.
Magical game.
Yeah, and where Khalil Mack gets the pick 6. Great game. Yeah. Great memories.
It was actually the next game he got injured against the Bills. It wasn't against the Panthers. It was against the Colts or the Bills. No, it wasn't the Panthers game.
No. I was talking about he broke his finger that game against the Panthers.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Was that the game he came off and then he came back on after the half and everybody was chanting MVP? Yeah, exactly. That's a moment that I would like to remember, and I do remember very vividly. Just another case in point.
Yeah.
But like in regards to what you're saying about about players suck and that, like, I mean, I don't want to sound like a hypocrite because I get on players too, and I criticize players. Like, guys like Zamir White and Tyree Wilson. Of course, they've reached the elite level. So they compared to us, of course, they don't suck. They're elite level talent. But when I criticize players and I get on them, I'm comparing them to like players at the same level or the minimum level of expectation that you expect when they come into the league. So I mean, I don't want to seem like a hypocrite. I'm just putting it out there.
Okay. And Anthony, and by the way, Anthony, who is a Carr fan, it says that he was the almost, and I kind of agree with that. Ed watched the piano guy.
At least he was even almost, you know what I mean? If he was inconsistent, whatever it may be. Yeah. Like, look at the other guys we had in the door since Gannon. Bums.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, we were rooting for him. We were rooting for him. You know why? Because he was the quarterback of our team. But I always remember the games. And hey, Gabe is over there. New York Giants 19. Gabe, come over to YouTube. Come on over to YouTube, Gabe. We're having a show on YouTube. I haven't heard from Gabe in a while. It was the things that he did. It was the things that he did that you remember. I remember the game against Philly. He's in Philly and he reaches out. I think it was the a Christmas game. He reaches to go get a touchdown, reaches the ball out to go across the end zone and fumbles it. Either out of bounds or
I think that was against the Cowboys. I think that was against the Cowboys. 2017.
Well, the Cowboys game, I know the one of the games was the index card game.
Oh God.
Yeah. Yes. With Gene Steratore. Fuck you, Gene Steratore.
Explain to me how that is that, like, I thought it was actually smart when it happened because he brought out the plays card and he was able to show that, like, there was a gap by putting a place card between where the chain was and the ball. So I was like, okay, cool. That actually works because that shows that there's a gap. So that means it's not a first down. And then when he says first down, I'm like, wait, what? How can you fit a place card between the ball and the chain if it's over the line? There's a gap. That makes sense to me. Ridiculous. But anyways.
Yeah, and the other thing is about that you could put an index card in it. It's how you tilt the chain. If the chain
but the fact that he fit it through, the fact that he fit it through, that means that you can only fit it through if there's a gap. And if there's a gap, that means it's short, right?
Exactly. I know that. Yes, and so that's the thing is that if you and the other thing is that if you put it where where your placard, your marker is not 90% or 90 degrees, it doesn't matter that you can put an index card in between. And by the way, like Ed was saying, you can't use it now because of Gene Steratore's bullshit. They've made that as something that you can't even use. Okay. But again, I agree with you. He was our quarterback. We were rooting for him to win. But the thing that a lot of people bring up, and as well as was brought up today by Sharif, and Sharif hates him. Well, Sharif was rooting for him. Sharif, I don't want to say that's not true. Sharif doesn't hate. Sharif does not hate Derek Carr, but he definitely is not a fan overall of Derek Carr. And it's because of the things that he did that just infuriates him. Okay. So I got to quantify that. Okay. But like you, I was there. I rooted for every game that Derek Carr was our quarterback. Okay. And thank you, Rafucho. I see you. Good to see you, Rafa. I remember the game, and I know you remember the game too. It was the Monday night game in Oakland that would not end against the Chiefs.
Yes, 2017.
And what did he do? He kept throwing it to Crabtree. He threw it to Crabtree like again and again and again and again. At the very end, where they kept having an illegal procedure, or the Chiefs kept giving him another down. He kept, and then he throws the Crabtree,
right,
and we win the game
in the corner.
And I think that was the one time. Maybe I think Derek Carr beat the Chiefs twice. I think.
Yeah,
2020. Look it up on it.
2020, he beat them.
Yeah.
He beat them 20. His first win was actually against the Chiefs. So he beat them in 2014. He beat them in 2017. So that's at least 3.
Yeah.
That was his first win.
He beat them on the Monday night. He beat them on the Monday night game when the Raiders were 0-10. I was at that game.
Yeah.
That was the Monday night game. They were 0-10, and he beat. Actually, I think it was a Thursday.
That was his rookie season. That was his first win. That was one of the.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I was pretty emotional after that game, being that, like, you know, it was a rough time, losing 10 straight, and then we finally got a win. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the times that really test your mantle as a Raider fan. You know what I mean? It's all good and easy, and granted, like, you know, for us Raider fans, like, it's been nothing but mostly mediocrity or below that, well, ever since I've been a fan. And since the early 2000s, you know what I'm saying? But, like, it's those years where it's like, we lost 10 straight. Some of those games we were getting blown the F out. You know what I mean? Like, it really tests your mental as a Raider fan. If you can stick it out through those times, you can stick around for any of the times. And you deserve to be around for when the times turn and we are great again.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you a little secret. I've said this before on broadcast, and I'm not sure if people remember this. The Thursday night game in Oakland, in the rain, when we were 0-10, and we won that game, that was the very first game I saw a win in Oakland.
Really? Wow.
My first Oakland win was that game. That's why
How many had you been
so
to before that? How many had you been to before that? I thought you would have been to many.
No, it was. I probably had been to. Remember, I live in Florida, and that was before, and I just gotten my season.
Right,
tickets.
but you do move around a lot. I don't know if that was before you started to move around to watch their games, but that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but yeah, military, and so I've been to probably about six or seven Oakland games before then,
right?
And then I got my season tickets. Because I had come back from Guantanamo. Hey, Piano Man, I am a Raider Jack Black clone, and I am Captain Jack. So thank you for trolling. Hey, Emac, you got to worry about this guy, Piano Man. He's going to beat you for trolling. Okay, so there you go. And yeah, test your mental foes. So much respect for y'all. Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, we are patient.
Right.
But yeah, that game, that was my first win. I left the stadium crying.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I shed a tear or two after the game, and I was watching on the TV just because it's like, you know, how it was a tough time and a tough season, but that win was the start of, you know what, like, the season may have been rough, but like, it gave us hope for our future. We had players in the door like Derek Carr, like Khalil Mack, like Latavius Murray, like Donald Penn. I don't believe it was Rodney Hudson's first year with us. Maybe it was, but you know what I mean? There was hope,
I think so.
And there was hope, and it led to success. That draft class built the foundation for our greatest success since the days of Gannon. Remember, 2016, like, that was built upon like the guys like Derek Carr, Khalil Mack, Justin Ellis, Gabe Jackson was from that same draft class. You know what I'm saying? Danica Autry was a UDFA from that draft class. There was a lot of guys that came through and had to go through the ringer, so to say, that season and build up to the point where we had our greatest success since the early 2000s in 2016.
Yeah, and you're right. They started building basically that night when they won. They won in Oakland on a Thursday night. That was building for the future. So 2014 begets the 2016 season, where they were 12-4. I'm not looking at notes, guys. I know this shit. Okay.
Yeah, me
They
too.
go from that. They were 12-4, and the Chiefs were 12-4, and they were in second place only because the Chiefs had the tiebreaker on them. So when they got those losses, we go to Houston and get our asses kicked because 2 games prior, Carr breaks his leg, and Pat, and I know his name is Matt McGloin. I always called him Pat McGloin, injured in Denver.
Right.
The last game of the season, we go to Houston
And
get
we
our
had
asses
Connor
kicked with
Cook come in, who just wasn't
Cook.
good at all.
Yeah, but no, I agree with you. And the thing is Avagazi, how long have you been a Raiders fan?
16 years and counting, since 2009.
Okay, well there you go. You're in it for the long haul. You're not going to be one of these fair weather fans where the next year
There's no such thing as a fair weather Raider fan. There's no such thing as it stands for the last. Since I've been a Raider fan, there's no such thing because we just haven't been successful in that time frame. So there ain't no such thing as a bandwagon Raider fan. If you're in it, you're in it all the way.
Well, yes and no, and I'm going to give you an example. There was a super fan by the name of was it the assassin? No.
I know the guy you're talking about. The guy who jumped ship as soon as they moved out of Oakland.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's that's not really bandwagons. More, he was more like a fan of the team being from where he's from, and as soon as they weren't playing representing where he was from, then he jumped ship to, I believe, like he either followed the Niners or not. No, I don't care if he's not following my team. Like, the hell with him. You know what I'm saying? Like that's treachery of the highest order. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, I don't care. I don't care if they're the Antarctica Raiders or the friggin' Mars Raiders. They're still my Raiders. You know what I'm saying? But I guess it's easy for me to say that because I'm not from the States. But whatever. I stand by what.
People don't forget that I'm from fucking Philly. I'm from Philly as a kid, and I'm a Raiders fan and have never left. Okay, I'm from Philly, the number one city as far as maniacal, and that is true, maniacal fans about their teams. If you're from Philly, you're a Philly fan for the most part. Now, I take the maniacal portion of being a true fan with my Raiders, and I go from that. And yeah, there are few and far fair weather, but yeah, Dr. Death, thank you there. I had it wrong. I was thinking right, and thank you, Sharif remembers that it was Dr. Death. But he said, well, if they're leaving Oakland, then fuck them.
Right. I personally don't see that as fair weatherness per se, even as much as I don't like what he did. And like I said, treachery of the highest order. But like, for me, like, he was still a fan when they were struggling. Like, he left because they left the city where he's based, as well as like who they represent. So like, hey, I don't like the guy either. Like I said, treachery of the highest order, but like, for me, I don't see it as much as fair weather. Fair weather for me is like, okay, you jumped on in the 2016 season when we were winning, and then as soon as times got tough after that, you're no longer following the team. That for me is fair weather.
I agree. And yes, I will take that. You are correct. Fair weather means that you're come day, go day. Bandwagon jump and bandwagon off. Dr. Death, and I have, not recently, but I've spoken with Dr. Death. I saw him on Facebook, and I IM'd him, and, good on you. And again, he was very young, and when he kind of, like, he said, fuck this, I'm not a Raider fan anymore, he was just coming into his own. He had just graduated, and he was a manager. He was going up through the management process, and I think he probably, if I'm not mistaken, he had his life squared away. He was in the management, and I think he had a wife. He was getting his life situated, and the Raiders were not as important part of his life. I get that, and he made the choice, and like you said, wasn't fair. He just said, fuck them, I can't support a team because of what they did. I get it. But it's still, to me, I can't. I'm like you, Avakazi, and I'm from Philly. You're from Australia. You get in there and you stay in there, you're like a dog with a fucking bone. I'm never going to give up being a Raiders fan. As long as there is this shield and this logo, if there is a Raiders team in the NFL, that is my team. Now, let's just say, for example, and I've said this before, if Vegas gave up the Raiders logo, if they gave up the name, if there was no longer a Raiders team in the NFL, I don't think it's going to happen. But if there was no longer a Raiders team in the NFL, I'm no longer a team of the Las Vegas sex workers, whatever, pick a name, right? I'm not a fan of the Las Vegas, circus performers or what's the name? I'm not the Las Vegas Carrot Toppers. I'm not a fan of that team. I'm a fan of the Raiders, and it just so happens
it's never going to happen. The Raider brand is too high for them to just all of a sudden change.
Yes.
Right. It would make zero sense. But I'm going to share a quote that I heard from one of my favorite wrestlers at the moment. His name's Karrion Kross. And he said something along the lines of, and a lot of Raider fans can relate to this, especially us diehards that have been around for a while. I don't believe in the grass is greener on the other side. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe you stay in the grass and water it and see it grow. You either watch it grow or you die in the weeds.
I like that. And it's apropos today because we finally got some fucking rain here because my lawn is dead. my lawn is about as brown as a Turkish hashish field. I think that's brown. I'm just guessing.
Space right away.
But yeah.
But it's to my point, it's a good quote and analogy in terms of the loyalty that is involved in sticking around when times are tough. You know what I mean?
Yes, I agree.
I've been through the ringer just as much as everyone else has since 2009. Those seasons were, we just highlighted. We lost 10 straight. Last year, we only won 4 games. The whole McDaniels fast, those seasons where we were winning 3 games, if that, back in 2012, 2013, and we were getting blown out in a lot of those games. You know what I mean? Like, I was still waking up 3, 4, 5 in the morning, watching every game live, whether treating it like it was the Super Bowl or the last game of my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care. I just don't care. Like, it's never going to stop for me, no matter what.
Well, I'm glad. I was going to say, you guys got a match? You guys got a match tomorrow?
We do. So shout out to Jeff. Well, we're doing a best of 5. He stepped up to the plate, per se. I'm no Tecmo god, but I've been playing for consistently since the start of the year. And, I've gotten somewhat competent at the game. Me and my guy, Raider Critique, we have good battles, but Raider Jeff, he's gotten on the Tecmo scene. We're going to play a best of 5, and we've got a bet on the line. So I've given him the proposition that all he has to do is win one game out of 5, and I'll gift him 5 super chats. But if he cannot win just one, Jeff, surely you can win just one. But if he can't, or what should I say, when he can't, he's going to give me.
There you go.
Top 5.
There you go.
So.
There you go. I like
Come
that.
and get it. So that just a cheeky plug. So that's going to be at 7:30 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Central, and 10:30 Eastern. And that's American time. That's not my time.
Right. Because you never remember I came in for that one with you and Critique. Okay. Mm-hmm. I came in. I think I had a Saturday show.
What's up, James?
And that's the reason why. And I remember that, or maybe I had a Friday show, and I remember. I will try. And again, you know when I tell you this, I'm not bullshitting you. I will try. That's like 10:30 in the morning. It's Mother's Day here tomorrow, and my son, actually, I should say, our son, but my wife's son, is coming from the other side of the state. So I'm not sure what we're going to be doing in the morning, but I will try. Oh, finals. Oh, I like this. Fucking ballsy. Fucking ballsy. Thank you. 5-0.
I scoff at the very notion of it. 5-0.
Hey, do it the old
Good one.
like the oh my god, the Monty Python. I felt in your general direction. There you go. I felt in your general direction. There you go. And
Was that a French accent?
And right away. Yes, it's from one of their movies, and it's a French guy talking to the British guys. I felt in your general direction.
All right, I hear you doing a French accent, and this is, I guess, since we're spitballing about accents, like I'm gonna give you a challenge for a minute, because I've done this on a few of my own lives where I've gotten my panel friends to give me their best Australian accent impersonation, and every single one of them sounds British. No one can nail it.
Yes,
so I'm gonna give
true.
the same challenge to you, Captain Jack. Can you do your best impersonation of an Australian accent? Can you give me your best? G'day, mate. Can I have some shrimp on the barbie?
I'm gonna try.
Go on. I want to see it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Good night.
Hang on. Chat. Give him a rating out of 10.
Okay, there you go. Good night, mate. That's not a knife. Now that's a knife.
That's not too bad. Not too bad.
Not bad.
I'll give you a 6.5 or 7.
I was gonna say it's at least over half.
Not too bad. I'll give you a semi round of applause.
Yeah. Now, putting the shrimp on the bottom, you got. I'm trying to do Michael Caine in the movie with him and Steve Martin, because his Australian accent was right on. With
Steve Martin.
Yeah, no, Michael Caine and Steve Martin in the movie where they're cons. Oh, I can't remember the fucking name. But when Michael Caine did it, his Australian accent was fucking right on. So
I'll tell you who does a really good one.
Who's that?
Meryl Streep. She's American, isn't she?
Yeah, Meryl Streep's American. Yeah.
Yeah. So she did that movie with Sam Neill about the dingo that took away the baby in the outback, and she kept saying, "The dingo took my baby," and yeah, she did it. She actually, at the time when I watched it, I was young. I thought she was Australian. I didn't realize it would take me later on in life when I knew who she was. Like she was actually an A-list actor for a minute and actress.
Yeah,
and she did 10 out of 10.
Not bad.
Round of applause.
And it's like, for those who don't know, Kate Blanchett is Australian. Okay, so one of the
Margot
best
Robbie.
actresses. Yeah, thank you. I was going there. Margot Robbie, the guy that was the star on the new Hawaii Five-0, Alex McLaughlin. He's Australian. There's so many Australian actors that have gone over and made their way to Hollywood, and you wouldn't know it unless you would hear them speak regularly, I guess is the way that you could say it. Speak without being prompted. But yeah, Margot Robbie.
There's Raiders Rebel. Can you give me one of those?
Maybe.
The dingo took my baby.
Oh, the dingo took my baby. That's a cross between Australian and Forrest Gump.
Yeah, you more so leaning to Forrest Gump.
I have to prepare. I got to prepare.
See, I find it it's funny because I guess maybe because the American accent is so streamlined, like when we watch TV or movies or whatever it may be, like an American accent is easy, but whenever you ask an American to put on an Australian accent, they really struggle.
Yeah, well, I can do a British accent, but mostly it's like there's various portions because there's so many different accents in England that because you can be like a Geordie is kind of like they're real close to Scotland, so their accent, fucking English people don't even understand them when they talk because their accent is so thick. It's not like the London accent or even the Liverpool accent, or the people from Liverpool are Scousers, I believe is the correct term, because the Beatles were all from Liverpool, and their accents were different. They are from the north, so it's like close to being a Geordie, but there's so many different British accents. How many, and I got to ask you, Abghazi, what is the predominant, how many different kind of like colloquialisms of Australia are different for Australian accents?
I've never heard that word before. What's that word? Colloquialisms?
Colloquialisms. Yeah, colloquialisms. Look it up. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So I'm
regional Australian accents, because I know you got Sydney and you got Perth.
Right. I guess like if you spend a lot of time like out in the outback or out in the bush, whatever it may be, if you're more rural, then you have more of a thicker Australian accent, like that you hear like a crocodile Dundee. That's an exaggerated Australian accent. And whatchamacallit, the crocodile hunter is what's his name? Steve Irwin. Rest in peace. Like that's an exaggerated Australian accent. We do not all speak like that. That to me, that's an earsore whenever I listen to that on the TV. But like, I guess maybe you've heard me and a few other Australians speak. Like I get it all the time. Like that people think that like I don't sound like your typical Australian, and maybe that's because I spend a lot of time talking and communing with my American brothers and sisters. Like. I mean, do you hear the thick Australian accent like you do with other people that you speak?
No, but I think it's probably because you are an Australian, but you're a Pacific Islander mixed in.
Yeah, so but I'm born here. I'm born here.
So I get it, but
that shouldn't matter. That shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't, but I'm just giving you the benefit of the doubt. So maybe it was because of that. I was spitballing there.
Right. I personally believe, like, I've spent more time talking to my American friends online than I do, like, with people in real life. Like, I guess I feel like that's probably why my accent isn't so strong like other Australians. Yeah. You're crocky, mate.
Yeah. Well, the weirdest thing that I ever heard was when I had an Australian girlfriend being in the Navy, and we went to Bunbury, which is south of Perth.
Yes, that's where I'm from.
There. Oh, you're from there?
I'm not from Bunbury, but I know Bunbury. That's south from where I'm based in Perth.
Okay. She was a Thai. She's a Thai lady.
Right.
Beautiful Thai lady. And for her to come talk to me, and I'm thinking, because I had just been to Thailand and I know how Thai girls talk, their accent.
Yeah, I do too. Sawadee ka.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And she's speaking to me in fluent Australian with an Aussie accent, and I'm like just blowing my fucking mind. And she was
to my point.
Yeah,
to my point
about you being right. What do you call it?
I was born here. My mother's Samoan, but I'm born here, so there's no reason why my accent should be any different.
True. Okay. I was just trying to.
Much like your I know. I'm just making a point. Like it's same with your ex-girlfriend. Like she may have Thai roots, but like I don't know if she was born here or she spent like a long time here. Like when it's like with anyone, when you spend a long time in a particular place. Like if I was to spend a couple of years in the States, I'd probably come back sounding more American. You know what I mean? Like it's just how it goes.
You would think, but I got something that would just totally defeats your analogy, because Mrs. Captain is a Filipina that has been in the States since 1975, and her accent, her American accent, it's all they talk like this, and they say that God damn it, that you don't talk like that, and she gets pissed at me for imitating her, and it's right on, and because I can imitate people. You threw me for the Australian thing. I'm usually pretty good at throwing out the thing. She's amazed that I it's a
tough one.
I imitate her. Yeah, and it's like, but when you go to talk like a person from the Philippines, they talk the English like this. And you can always tell when you're on the phone.
Jack. You sound terrible. You sound more like a robotic Frenchman than a Filipino.
No. You're
Yes,
wrong.
you do.
You're wrong.
Yes, you do.
I tell you what. Hey Jeff, when I speak the talking like the the Filipinos that are on the phone, when you talk to them on the phone, they talk like this. And the reason why I know I'm on is because Angelo, when I speak with Angelo and I speak like that to Angelo, he fucking laughs because he knows I got it down. He knows I got it down.
You sound like a robotic Frenchman.
My point was, she's been here since 75, and she did not lose any of it. She did not lose any of it.
Look, it may not be the case all the time, but like, I'll give you a good example. Like, a lot of the NBA players that come from international, you know what I'm saying? Like, they come from other countries and they spend like 2-3 years in the NBA. And then when you watch them doing press conferences, you can hear the American accent start to develop. Like, I'll give an example, like Giannis Antetokounmpo. When he came to the league, like, he could barely speak English. And now, like, when you watch his presses, he sounds like he still has that Greek twang, but like he's picked up a lot of American, like his voice has been Americanized per se.
That's right. Hey, before I get you out of here, I went over 2 hours, but I had this show has been fun for me. And the reason why I'm doing it on Saturday, like I said, because tomorrow is Mother's Day, and I have to have a show on for the National Streaming Sports Network. And thank you for all the people. Although they're not going to see this, I only get an hour from them, right? But I did that over. Before I let you go, Avgazi, and again, thank you so much for coming in. It's always great. I will try to wake up at 10:30. I will try. But yeah, I love going to bed late. I love getting up late. But for you, because it's Sunday, and if I don't have shit to do for Mother's Day, I will try. But before I go, your favorite memory of Derek Carr, since we are talking about Derek Carr, your favorite memory of Derek Carr, I'm going to give you that.
Probably that 2014 game. Just the emotions of it that was involved, and that it was his first win. That for me, like, if I'm gonna think about it, would be my favorite. Like, there's a lot of other contenders, like 2016, that 2017 victory you just talked about, the 2021 game where we beat the first game of the season where we beat the Ravens, as well as that game where we won against the Chargers and we made the playoffs. But that's going to be it for me. As well as, like, I guess another one would be the Bengals game that I went to, actually seeing him play live. He didn't play too great, but the fact that, like, we won and he was my quarterback that day. Yeah. The day I bought this jersey, and like, I haven't worn this jersey. The last time I actually wore it was the very last game he played for us was that Steelers game, where I was hoping and praying he would put on a performance, but he didn't. And that would be the last time we would see him in Raider colors. And that was the last time I put this jersey on, and I've had it in my closet for the longest time. But now that he's retired, you know what? It's like all the other jerseys that I have. And this is what I keep saying when people are reserved about buying jerseys for players. Like, well, once their careers are over, like 5-10 years down the line, like, you know, you can still, if they did things that are more like they provided good times and good moments, then there's no issue why you cannot wear the jersey again and appreciate them for the good things that they brought to the door. And salute to Westside. I'm going to just go on a bit of a spiel here with Westside specifically. Nobody defended Westside. Sorry, nobody defended Derek Carr more so than this guy down here. And I just wanted to put that out on camera. Nobody did, no matter what. Like, he was the most staunchest of Derek Carr supporters. And like I said, like, I'm not going to look at the end being the full stop. And I don't do that with anybody who comes through the door. You know what I mean? Like, I would rather appreciate the good times and the good things that they did. And if they provided them, then that's what I'm going to look at once their time is ready to over. Because, we've been in mediocrity for a reason. Because we've had so many players that have come through the door that hasn't done squat. Nothing. Nada. And we're going to cut down players who have actually done some things, given us some good moments, whereas you have all these other scrubs that come through the door that don't do shit. They're the ones who deserve our criticism. They're the ones who deserve, like, the whole, like, people to give them the full stuff. Oh, they're this, whatever. You know what I'm saying? The guys that come in the door and don't even give us the bare minimum. Not guys who at least gave us some good moments and didn't do anything detrimental to the Shield, in my personal opinion. So that's my final take.
No, I agree. And Ern, thank you, because Ern hit me up. I can't remember which one it was, but I said, come into the show tonight. I'm glad you got a chance to come in for a little bit, because, again, I remember that probably, and I don't know if I'm sure you probably have it somewhere. There was a time where I let Ern and Sharif go back and forth, and I was in the middle, and I'm listening to their conversation.
I remember that live. That was 2021, right? 2022.
I don't remember when it was.
It was a while ago. I remember. It was actually I think that was one of the first times I saw Westside on a panel. I remember it vividly because I was at work when I was working in a mine site out in the outback, and just in between jobs, like, I was looking for content to watch, and I remember watching that one where Westside was going at it with, I don't know who he was. He just told me his name's Sharif, but I remember it got quite heated. I was like, who is this Westside guy? I fuck with him. I kind of like that energy. So we've been friends ever since then. So.
Yeah, and Ern, I hope, because Sharif is on my show a lot, and I just wanted to make sure that Ern was. I wasn't taking sides, but I was entertained. My debate skills have evolved. Okay, thank you. Hey, and Ern, you are always. Well, I tell this to everybody. People say to me, "Well, why don't you invite me on your show?" I invite everybody on my show. You know this, Avagazi. It's a standing invitation. It's a standing invitation. If you want to talk about whatever, come on the show. And I very rarely have guests slated. Now, I will say this, though. Next Friday, Peggy and I are going to be doing a show, because it's been a while since Peggy and I did a show. And she said on the 6th, I think it's the 16th, which is Friday, I'm doing a show with Peggy. Because people say, well, why don't you do a show with Peggy? It's not that we don't, it's just that Peggy's busy and I'm busy. And so I told Peggy, I said, hey, let's do a show. So next Friday, there you go. The show with Captain and Peggy is next Friday. I will schedule that, but I don't really schedule guests. If I know somebody wants to come on, I'll say, hey, this person's going to be on. But I don't do that. I just say, everybody come on in and talk, because it's your show. It's on my channel, but it's your show. And that's why I do it that way. And I want to say thank you, Avakazi, for coming in. Thank you, Sharif, for coming in. Thank you, EMAC, for coming in, because people are saying, why the fuck do we fuck with EMAC? Because I got to give people knowledge. I'm sorry, you were going to say something, Avakazi.
I just have one more thing I wanted to ask you before I get on out of here.
Yes,
I guess I'm going to take it in a different direction. Being that,
Yes,
one of the last times we shared the panel, me and you debated heavily the linebacker course, specifically a player that I wanted to ask you about, Amari Burney.
Okay.
Now, we've been making a few moves at the linebacker position. We just signed, what's that guy? We re-signed Jalen Smith, the guy we had in the door in 2023. Hasn't done much since his good days as a Cowboy. But it's still like a point of interest for me that they seem to be trying to make moves at linebacker positions. So that brings me back to what I'm going to ask you. Like, with all these moves that we seem to be doing, it seems to me that there seems to be little faith with the depth, the linebacker position. So I guess my question is, how confident are you specifically with Amari Burney to be able to make this roster and at least contribute and make an impact?
With those moves, no better than 50-50. I give him a 50-50 chance. And the reason why I say that is because you said it yourself. We already know who we got at linebacker. And linebacker has been a bone of contention for years. Hell, folks, linebacker has been a bone of contention since Greg Biekert was our linebacker. Yeah, it goes back that far. We haven't had a linebacker of Biekert's talents or of even Morrison's talents for years because we haven't had a good linebacker core.
Spillane was good.
Give me Greg Biekert.
Spillane was good.
Well, okay. I was going to say since
Spillane and Berryman. But to your point, like it's been dire. Right. Anyways.
Yeah. And again, yeah, and Perriman was like a 1 to 2 year fix. Spillane was a great, and again, we had this conversation. I liked everything that Spillane did. I did. It's not that I didn't like Spillane. And if anybody deserved to wear the number 41, it was Spillane. Because I found my Villapiano jersey that I had made because I wanted to make sure I get because I want Phil.
Love that guy.
I love Phil Villapiano. I gotta bring it if I know he's going to be there. But Spillane was a fantastic guy, and I'm glad Ern's in here. Yeah, Perriman, Bowman was and Bowman
was good for a minute. Yeah, and Seymour. Yeah, but for the most part, it's been dire. It's been a weak spot for the longest time, and we just don't really address it properly via the drop. But my questions were specifically because we debated Amari Burney. How confident are you in this guy not just making the roster, but also contributing?
I'm not. And the reason why is because they drafted Eichenberg. They drafted the other Berg, the kid that they got this year. They have Gaynor, which has showed a lot of promise.
Liedenberg.
Okay. Yeah. There's two Bergs. There's Eichenberg and the other Berg. Okay.
Liedenberg, I think his name is.
Liedenberg. Yeah. Okay. So the two Krauts. Okay, we got the two Krauts there. Yeah, because
that's kind of racist to say that.
Not racist if that's their nationality from, that's their ancestry.
I wouldn't say that to a German. Calling them the K word.
They're Krauts. They're of German descent. Alvakazi, you're Australian. Who's of was it Asian or Asian Pacific Islander, Australian? That's your.
I'm not Asian.
Well, okay. I'm sorry. You're Pacific Islander, Samoan descent, Australian, right? I'm sorry. We call them Asian Pacific Islanders. That's what the Americans. It's Asian Pacific Islanders. That is a check mark. Yes, I swear, it's a check mark on your national. I'm telling you, Asian Pacific Islanders. We lump them all together, and that's when you do shit, right? Oh, I'm not Asian. I got to earn dead. But when you go like Hispanic, Germanic, when you do the line, I swear it's in the United States where they look what your nationality, like what do you identify as? That's one of the things. Asian Pacific Islanders. Thank you.
We're not even in the same region, dude. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying they lump, get this. They lump Filipino, Guamanian, Samoan, all in one hodgepodge in the United States. That's not me. That's what the collective is. So
I'm just messing with you, man, but I find that funny.
It's true. But no, you are correct. You're not Asian. You're a Pacific Islander.
Respectfully, Asians and Pacific Islanders, we're totally different. We're around the same kind of area,
right.
But we're right. We're closer to the States in Australia than we are to Asia. So
I get it. But that's how it's lumped in the United States. And that's why Ern's telling me I'm not lying. I'm not being racist.
You Americans are ignorant. You're so ignorant.
Fucking ignorant. and anyway, I agree with Jimmy Farrell. CDC and NXS, great for us. Oh, my point, though. Your point.
Right.
Am I confident that Amari Burney is going to make the team? No. I think that his time was probably wasted because for some reason, him and Graham and whoever I don't know who the linebackers coach was. I don't know.
It was
I
AP
don't know
at
who the
first, and
linebacker.
then after that, like, was AP ever his linebacker coach? Who drafted Bernie? Was it?
I think AP. I think AP was the linebacker.
Yeah, it was his
coach.
first. Yeah, I think it was. Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Bern, I'm gonna tell you that's your. I saw what you did there, Bern. I saw what you did there. I put it up. There's a whole different. If we're talking about crackers, that's a whole different subject. And Twan put pipes in, more than ignorance. Guys, it's going to go off the rails real quick.
All right, let's get back to the linebacker question. So you answered my question, and I just wanted to ask you that because, like I said, the last time we shared the panel, we had quite a debate about Amari Burney specifically. So, I hope. Go ahead.
Yeah, and again, your hopes, but I think that he was underutilized when he was here. I think he was underutilized. And now you have a different coaching staff with Carroll implementing what he wants to do. It says Pete Carroll's telling Graham what he wants. He's the head coach. He's a defensive-minded coach. He's saying, this is what I want you to do. Implement it. Do it, right? It depends upon what Pete wants under Patrick Graham's system as to who will stick out. Now, if you have a linebacker that was drafted in Eichenberg, a linebacker that was drafted in Liedenberg, okay, the two Krauts, like I said, by ancestry, and you have whoever else contributing, and Gaynor showed a lot, right? So it's going to come down to who gets the snaps, who comes out, who shows their mettle, and it's METTLE, folks. It's not MEDAL. Who shows their mettle? METTLE. And if it's Bernie, who I think is a very good good way to say it, who comes out of that? Who is the guy in that system? But I think that Amari Burney can be a successful linebacker. Yes, I will say I'm biased because I am a Gator. I saw what he did as a Gator.
Right.
But I think he can be a successful NFL professional. And if it's not here, I think he'll go somewhere else and we'll be that. Oh, and the guy we picked up from the Steelers, and then we got the Buck, right? Those are our linebackers.
Right. But I guess I'm just looking at Bernie. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, but if I'm looking at the whole thing, if you put all of those people again, these are my guys. You know that the free agent from the Steelers and the free agent from the Bucks, they're top two, right? Then you got Eichenberg and Liedenberg, who are the guys that were drafted. You know they're going to be given every opportunity, right? Okay. And then you have Gaynor, who showed his positivity. Granted, it was last year, but he has that edge. Right. So I think it's going to be, if it's those five guys, that wouldn't surprise me. But this is a whole different regime, and it's what Pete wants and what Graham can implement.
I'll tell you what, all three of those guys are going to need big preseasons, and Amari Burney specifically. I mean, he's been on our roster 3 years, and you get concessions for development your first 2 seasons, but year 3, you really got to put it together and show that you belong and at least be a contributor. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my bare minimum expectation with Bernie. And if he can't even be that, then what are we keeping this guy around for? So I'm going to be rooting for the guy. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope you're wrong. Like, I hope he does turn out to be better than what we expect. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it disappoints me greatly that we draft like linebackers rounds 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The only times we draft true linebackers are usually like from rounds 5 and up. Like when we draft in round 3, we're getting these project guys. We're trying to change from safety to linebacker. You know, Tanner Muse, Divine Diablo. You know what I'm saying? Just to list a few. But like I just think like to Westside's comment, it's time to show or go with Bernie and Eichenberg. Like, I mean, I was very underwhelmed and not impressed with his rookie season. Granted, he was a rookie, but he's another guy who, look, you've got to be able to contribute, you know what I'm saying, at least something. And if he can't contribute more so than guys like Gaynor, guys like Jalen Smith, who we signed, or even some of these undrafted free agents, then you got to bounce on.
If you're not getting it in year 3, you're gone. And that's why I said you've had 2 years on a scholarship per se. Granted, it's a paid scholarship, but you've had 2 years on your scholarship. You need to perform in year 3. And if you are not performing in your 3rd year, that's when you go. People forget, and I'm going to say this, Avgazi, and you can look it up. Cliff Branch, the first 2 years in the NFL, couldn't catch a cold. I mean, he could run, and he couldn't catch for shit. But I believe it was at the midway through his 2nd year that it started to come to him naturally, and by the 3rd year, he was the great performer and the Hall of Famer that we know today. Okay,
right?
And I agree with right away. And Tyree was this is his fucking year. Show up or buy
or ship out.
And I was very high on that. Okay. And
so he's asking me how many sacks.
We'll see.
Sorry, right away asked me how many sacks does Tyree get this season. 5 to 7, like Westside says, would be at least plausible for me. But my expectation for Tyree is that, like, look, if you're not starting, then you better be a good rotational guy by year 3. Drafting in the top 10 and only getting a rotational guy up until now, that's no matter how much you cook it or you cut it, that is unacceptable. That is not good enough. You know what I'm saying? The fact, like, ideally, if hopefully it doesn't happen, touch wood. But if or Malcolm Kuntz or Max Crosby misses some game time, then this guy Tyree, like, you better step your game up and be everything that we drafted you to be, because you've had 2 seasons where you've been underwhelming. You've been okay and / decent in spots, but that's it. And once again, that's not good enough for a top 10 draft pick. You know what I'm saying? So a reasonable level of expectation is to be a good rotational guy. Not like the 2nd, 3rd best rotational guy, which he was after preseason last year. I mean, he was getting outperformed by the likes of Janarius Robinson and Charles friggin' Snowden. You know what I mean? That's an issue in itself. Like, if you're out there in preseason against guys who can barely make the roster or fighting for a roster spot, and you're not jumping off the tape, that's a problem. So come preseason, I want to see this guy flying off the tape. I want to see this guy making splash plays all over the place. And then when he gets his chance in the regular season, I want him to be at least good in spots. You know what I'm saying? That's my bare minimum for Tyree. And surely he can. That's not unattainable. Like, it's anything less is going to be unacceptable.
Hey.
So I had that same energy with Cleve Farrell, Matt. I had that same energy with Cleve Farrell. Like, he was another guy, a rotational guy at best. He was a decent run stopper, but once again, you don't draft at 4 or 3 or in the top 10 or even the first round period for a rotational guy by year 3, year 4. That is unacceptable, and I'm sick and tired of it.
I agree. And I'm going to give you the old Yul Brynner. So let it be written, so let it be done. Yul Brynner from the 10 Commandments. So let it be written, so let it be done. So let it be stated, so let it be done. And that's from Avakazi and me. And I'm gonna try to wrap this up at 2.5 hours. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank everybody for being. I want to thank you, Avakazi. Thank again, Sharif. I want to thank EMAC for coming in and being a troll. Even the piano guy who's being a troll. And all everybody in the comment section. Ern, it was good to see you. I haven't seen Ern in forever. Furpo was in here. Got to be a Furpo and Matt Marinovich. It's a real show when you got Furpo and Marinovich. Everybody else, Raider Way. I'm going to forget people. I'm very sorry.
Twan was in here.
And obviously, my God. Oh, Twan, obviously. And again, I don't. If I forget you, I'm sorry. And I'll even let that Americans with the 3Ks. Come on, Ern. You're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls.
You're killing me.
I thank
Smalls.
everybody. I thank everybody for being here. There will be a show, not tomorrow, because I'm taping this for tomorrow. Don't look for it. It'll be on YouTube if you want to watch it again. Thank you if you do. And thank you for getting this out, telling your friends. Oh, and Bob Stannard was here from the wedding. He came in from a wedding, guys. I like that. Okay. So I forget people, but I'm just going to call it old age. I'm 60 now. I can do that. I'm old. And my knees are about 30 years older. Avgazi, thank you there, brother, for coming in here. No hate and discontent. Love you as well.
Thanks for having me, man.
And 30, I'll try to be there. For
sure. Once again, chat, if you're down with the Tecmo Super Bowl, if you want to even just watch us having a laugh, having some good times, it's good fun. Yes. 10:30 a.m. Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Central, 7:30 a.m. Pacific on my side of the fence, Afakazi Raider. We're going to be doing that Sunday morning. So appreciate you, Jack. Thanks for having me on. Go Raiders. Take care, gang.
Good to see you, man. Thank you there. Afakazi popping in and sharing some time. Did you figure out something other than Vegemite for the bet, though? I know that there was debate. It was going to be something other than Vegemite. Vegemite is nasty. Ugh. And for the comment of the night, and yeah, good seeing you. This is the comment of the night, okay? And it's true. And the comment of the night comes from Sharif, and this is talking about Cliff Branch, the great Cliff Branch. He couldn't catch the clap in a Cambodian whorehouse in his early days as a Raider. I couldn't have said it better myself, especially, about that. And Sharif says that Tyrese is a bust. We'll see. Greatness of the Raiders is the future. Thank you for everybody. And thank you for being, hey, you're all invited. It's a ween. No. James could catch 1 out of 4. 1 out of 4, Matt. You know that. The best James Jet catch that I remember was the game against and I'm hoping I'm right and see if I'm right. Matt will catch me on this. Matt, check this. Remember the game? It was a Monday night game against the Chargers, and the Raiders were down, I think, 7-3. They were down 7-3. It was a Monday night game. I can't remember. It was like late 2000s. And it was so bad that Wade Wilson came in. Wade Wilson came in and threw a bomb to, I think it was James Jett. I think, check it out. Somebody catch me on this. It was Wade Wilson to James Jett. The Raiders win 10-7 on a Monday night game very late. But somebody check me on that. So that was the greatest James Jett catch that I remember. So we'll see there. Anyway, thanks, everybody. We're gone over 2.5 hours. Oh, Purple Knights, Golden Days. I didn't wave at you. I'm very sorry. How long are they going to keep them in Vegas? Where are you staying? Well, I stay at the Hilton Alara, by the way, for all the folks over on IG. Take care, everybody. Remember, this show that's on tomorrow is already on. No show live tomorrow. Have a great Mother's Day. I got to get off. My goodness, it's 12:30. I gotta get ready. We'll see everybody again. Happy Mother's Day to all y'all. And those Raider rookies are they're looking good. I'm thinking, hey, we're gonna win at least. I'm gonna say it now. Raiders are winning at least 7-8 games this year. Definitely 7-8 games. And I want to see what that line is in Vegas. I'll bet the over probably. Y'all take care. We'll see you. Come back again. And yeah, there you go. Second great comment of the Happy Mother's Day, you mother. We'll see you guys.